Everybody, I'm Stuart Cohen, and we are here today for Group Sales Success Series number 2. I want to pick up on first on an instant message I got from our colleague Karen that I had said something yesterday that really resonated, which is that agents seem to always struggle with getting family, their closest family and relatives to book with. Is that you? Do you have that struggle too? I hear it all the time. I've heard it for years, and I've been in this business 30 years. You know that we're going to go through. We can't go through the litany of reasons why that there's this psychology about it, because they might feel bad that if you don't do a good job, if you don't give them the good price, that it creates an awkward relationship. And I get that. I understand. So all I said was, don't sweat it, man. Don't stress over it. It's their friends and family who you want to get to. Just use them, and I say that in a loving way, to be a referral for you. Send them their inner circle, their next level circle, because they have other friends, they have other family, right? There's in-laws and so forth. That's fine. Maybe eventually they'll book with you, but the business that comes to you is the business you're supposed to get. So think of it that way. Don't be upset. Don't make them feel guilty, because that only backfires. What you want to do is just keep letting them know what you're doing, what you're up to. You're getting training right here, right now, from the best in the business, and that's me at doing groups, Stu Cohen. So here we go. Andy wants to link to You Got It. Hello, Andy's in a house. We are going to have a full house again. I am grateful, and we're going to get started. So I'm going to stop looking at the question box. However, you don't need to. If something pops into your head while we're talking, if you have a comment, a question, a suggestion, please go ahead and type it in, because just like I did yesterday, midway through, I will stop and address that, and we'll do it at the end as well. Yesterday we did reasons why you're not getting more groups. Today we're really focused on group leaders, which I hear over and over and over again can be the source of enormous stress and can be the source of enormous failure too, and can be the source of enormous success. So today we're focusing on success. I'm not going to go through who I am again. I hope that you were with me yesterday. If not, go to my website, check me out. But I'm the real deal. Not only do I teach this, but I'm passionate for it. I believe in you, the travel agent. You are needed more than ever before, because consumers out there are making big, bad, ugly mistakes without you. The reason why they're not booking with you, they don't know you're alive. They worked with an agent before who they didn't like, didn't trust, who didn't do them right. And it's just about making that connection and letting them know that you're going to take care of them. You're going to love them. You're going to give them an experience they'll never forget, and that you won't forget to recommend everything, suggest everything, so they don't come back disappointed. The key is that you promise your clients they're not going to come back disappointed, because you're going to tell them, hey, if you go around that corner, there's a restaurant that we've been to that's awesome. Hey, the first thing you do when you get a chip is do this. So that's that disappointment. You're going to give them the heads up on stuff, so when they get there, they won't miss a thing. Everything I'm teaching right now is right out of my group sales boot camp that launched in February 2015. There have been hundreds of agents who have gone through the program, and I really hope to convince you today that you may want to join. Here's how to connect with me. I'm not going to leave this screen up, because we're going to get to the good stuff, the meaty stuff, as everybody keeps coming in. I will put that up again in a minute, I promise you. Today's agenda is sort of 2 parts. The 6 reasons why the group leaders are failing you, and the 6 better methods why, and you're going to love it. There's really good stuff here. Some of you are saying, well, why do I need to join boot camp if he's giving me 2 hours worth of stuff here? Well, let me tell you something. They no way I'm giving you everything. I can't. There's not enough time. I'm doing for you what I hope you do for your clients. Give away free stuff. Showcase what you got, what you know, so they want more of it, and they want to come and book with you. They want to be your friend because you're cool. You know more than them. Now, I'm not saying I know more than you. but I'm going to make this promise to you right now. There's 3 things that are going to happen today in our final session together. Number 1, I'm going to validate stuff you may already be doing. Number 2, I'm going to remind you of stuff you may have forgotten. And number 3, the best part of all, I'm going to teach you stuff you never thought of. All right, so there we go. We got Q&A, and towards the end, I'll make you an offer you can't refuse to convince you to join boot camp, because so many agents say, I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time. The beautiful part is you do have time. Now's the time. If you're here today, you can do it, and boot camp, there's no webinars you got to show up for. It's all online. You do it. You can do it 2 o'clock in the morning. Those of you who are on right now in boot camp, I know you can't tell everybody, but it's true. I built it for convenience. Today's PDF downloads, if you haven't already seen them, friends, you can download them now or later. I don't want you to mess up the screen there. But there's a new one. It's called Picking and Nurturing Winning Group Leaders. It's, I think, a 5 or 6 pager. It's right out of boot camp. Download it, own it, print it. It's yours. My gift to you. Plus, that same thing I had yesterday, the PDF bonus training materials is there. And there's also another document called The Ultimate Guide to Group Boot Camp that shows you everything that's inside, because I'm not going through it, all the details. I've done that in the past. Today we're focusing on education, learning, and motivation, and I welcome you to join me whenever I have a special guest expert in the studio with me during my coaching hours. I invite the entire travel agent community to be a part of these, and these are 3 coming up that, and I've got the group experts from all 3 companies coming, and I have loads more that I've already done that you can see. They're on YouTube, and the links are on that bonus training material that has more resources. So my question is, are group leaders letting you down? Shake your head yes. I can see you. Shake your head yes. Read what I just wrote. It's not their job to hold you up. My friends, they hired you to hold them up, or they would have done it themselves. So we're doing a major paradigm shift here before we even take another step. They're hiring, listen to my words again, they're hiring you because they don't want the stress and risk. They don't want the failure. They want the value. They want the convenience. My friends, they hired you to ensure that the group trip doesn't fail. We talked about this yesterday. Your purpose, your only purpose as a travel professional is this, these 3 things right here: to reduce stress and risk, to add value and convenience, to transform the entire experience from good to great. This is why they're hiring you. So the next time you run into a person who says, geez, I didn't even know travel agents were still in business. What do I need you for? I do it myself. Well, you do, but you'll realize that when you come back disappointed that you missed something, because I don't let my clients miss. In fact, here's what I do. I reduce stress and risk. But remember, be prepared to give examples of how you reduce stress and risk, increased value and convenience, and transform the experience from good to great. So here we go. We're going to start off now with the 6 reasons why group leaders are failing you. You tempted them with free travel, and their primary goal is to travel free and not to have a successful group. Mentioned this yesterday, friends, about sourcing your group. Said, I believe that is not the good way, the right way, the best way, the wisest way to go out and get new groups, because it comes back to bite you always. Tell me if I'm wrong. You know, you wave that flag, oh, travel free, that's all they want. It's no longer about the group. It becomes a selfish goal versus a selfless goal. We're going to dive deep here. I promise you. We're going to talk about incentives too in a minute. But I can't stress enough how the free travel thing backfires. So if you're going to take any action at all, and you got to trust me on this, you're going to take it off your website, take it off your business card, take it off your T-shirt, and just quit saying it. It's just so easy to say, and it's just so wrong. because it changes the focus from what the primary mission needs to be. Okay. Number 2, it took a lot to convince them to do a group, so it's all about solving your problem and not theirs. Does that make sense to you? You're in there selling so hard because you know it's a great idea. You believe in it. You love it. And they're the perfect group leader. Oh my goodness, it's going to be great. And you're going to take care of everything, and you're selling them hard, and they're like, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And then they do it, and they're not really into it. What did I tell you guys yesterday? It's not about selling group travel. It's about solving problems and using group travel as the solution. By the way, if you're joining in for the first time, you have the ability to toggle the slide bigger or smaller. I just want to make sure you know that if you're here for the first time. So you don't have to look at me the whole time, or you can, or look at us both. Split screen thing. So if you're selling really hard to convince them, then clearly you haven't qualified them properly to find out what's their hot button to doing this. Why would they want to? And eventually they might just give in and say, fine, we'll do it. And then what happens? They're hands off. It's a hands-off approach. Fine, I'll do it. And they're not really into it. Those groups just don't work. Have you ever had a group like this? I know you have. I hear this all the time. Number 3. The group leader, they have no plans to travel with the group. Have you ever encountered this? I could see you. Shake your head. Yes. No, I can't see you. I know that freaks some people out when I say that. Believe me, all I'm looking at is my beautiful view out my window, my giant whiteboard, and my camera. I can't see you. And they're not fully vested or interested in the event or the people. Now, what I've said here, friends, may not be 100% true, because sometimes the group leader just can't go and the group will still work. However, I'd like to say the word but, which I will. If that group leader is not going and you need to leverage that group leader to be the spokesperson, the successful salesperson for you, really getting the word out and saying, come join me, come with us, I will be there. It takes away, if they don't go, it takes away so much integrity. It takes away so much motivation, believability, excitement. When the person, the group leader who's telling people to go isn't going themselves, like here, eat the cake, it's good. No, I don't want any. Well, why don't you want any? It's too much sugar. It's too fatty. It's too sweet. I'm full. Well, why should I eat it then? You see what I'm saying? I'm just reviewing the top 6 reasons why I see group leaders fail, and this is number 3, that if they are not committed to travel to, it usually leads to failure. Number 4, they're busy top-level executives who have no time for you and delegate tasks to people who are also too busy for you. So it's really nice if the president, the CEO, or whatever says, let's get this group done, blah, 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 but all of a sudden they disappear. And they say to you, I'm not going to be your point person anymore. And they dump you on, has this happened to you? And guess what happens to the person who gets dumped on? All of a sudden it's on their desk. And this is the last thing in the world they wanted to do, needed to do, have time to do. They're upset, they're rejected, and they're upset that all of a sudden they've got this new responsibility that they didn't sign up for. It creates an awkward, stressful situation because that person may not have the same drive, the same vision, understand the reasons why this group was put together to begin with, the right motivation. to get it done. Has this ever happened to you before? I guarantee you there are hands up out there right now. So my point here is that it may not be the top level executive. And I'll tell you how to overcome this, because sometimes you want the top level executive. I know what you're thinking. You're saying, Stuart, but don't we want them to endorse it and sign up? Absolutely. But I'll give you the solution so that you're not dumped on somebody's desk who's also going to ignore it. Number 5, you thought the incentive was very generous, but the group leader didn't want it, need it, or care much about it. I see this a lot as well. And let's just say, friends, that it is the free stateroom, but they're still asking for more. And we will talk more about incentives, but what if the company, the organization, the association already pays for their travel? So this is a waste. You've given something away that you never needed to. What if they're really wealthy and this is a charitable group or a family reunion, whatever it is, and they don't need it? They'd much rather have somebody else use it or have something else for the group. And what if you say a free upgrade? Well, no, I'm happy with this balcony stateroom. It's just fine. In fact, I handpicked the location. Now, we'll talk more about incentives, but just because it's something you want doesn't mean it's something they want. I give you, around Christmas and Hanukkah time or whatever, gift-giving time, you ever heard of this where the spouse ends up buying a gift for their spouse and it's a wah, 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 because it's something you buy for them that you really want and you think they will like. I'm going to give you a funny case in point, an example. Before I moved to Memphis, before Kimberly and I were married for one of her birthdays, and by the way, today is Kimberly's birthday, yay, and I bought her a set of speakers, Bose speakers, so that she could, when she uses her computer and she works out and does yoga, because at that point she didn't have a stereo system, whatever, that she might be able to enjoy that, and also hook it up to the TV so she gets better sound quality. Well, guess what? That gift was all about me. And she told me this a little later, because we have a great relationship. Because, that was very nice, but it wasn't about me. That was for you. You wanted that. So when you would come to visit, you could listen to your music coming through fancy speakers. And she said, I don't care what it sounds like. So you get my point, and you know what I'm talking about. Number 6, and the final point, the whole deal was done with a handshake. If I was to ask you right now, take a survey of everyone on right now, how many of you get the signed group agreement letter? Normally it's 2 out of 10. And then there's a certain percentage of agents I find who sometimes get it signed, because sometimes agents are afraid, read the words, to have them signed because you don't want to scare them off. Got a good thing going here. I don't want to scare them away. And that's because maybe you sold too hard. You pushed too hard. You pushed your agenda on them, and you don't want them to back out. And so that goes back to the other point we talked about, right, earlier today, which is that maybe it's been all about you and not about them. Because you should feel comfortable offering a group agreement letter, and they should be very willing to do it. And you're saying, how? What are the ingredients of a group agreement letter? You probably are expecting me to say, I'm not going to give you the answer to that unless you pay for boot camp, and you're wrong. I will. So stick around. I will tell you the 6 key ingredients of a group agreement letter, because I'm a nice guy. So a quick review, 6 reasons why they're failing you. And the new paradigm shift, my friends. Don't assume that free travel works. It may not be their hot button, what's going to make them happy and what's going to make them work harder to achieve it. The true definition of incentive is somebody offering something that somebody really wants, and they'll work extra hard to achieve. And it can't be a gimme, a guarantee. Number 2, don't make it about you, the sale. It's got to be solving their problem, and they need to really sincerely, authentically want to do it. Number 3, be wary of non-participants. Somebody who's not going on the group trip may not be the best spokesperson for it. Number 4, be wary of big titles. My friends, and we'll talk about this in a minute too, just because they have CEO or president in the title doesn't automatically mean they're going to be great group leaders. They may be great leaders of the company, but not right to lead the group. But you still absolutely want to get their endorsement, their signature, and their thumbs up and their cooperation. Number 5, our hot buttons are different from theirs. What we may think, chocolate-covered strawberries on the pillow at night, we think is a really sweet gift until we find out that they can't have sweets, diabetic or whatever. Whatever. My point is, don't assume. And number 6, handshakes aren't worth the paper they're printed on. And there you have it. All right, we're going to take a quick 2-second break because I know a lot more people have come in. I want to see if there's been any more questions that have come in before I move forward. Elaine says, these being recorded. I had to miss yesterday due to parental health issues. Absolutely, positively, Elaine. Yes, both of them. This one is being recorded as we speak. The other one was already recorded, and tomorrow, which is Thursday, they will be uploaded and available either on my YouTube channel or on my webpage too. Kelly said, is boot camp set up to work for tour operators too? Yeah, absolutely. So whether you're doing, so let me make sure I'm asking this right, Kelly. Are you saying that if you're doing a group with a tour operator, if you're doing a hotel group or a cruise group, if that's your question, the answer is yes. Every single thing that I teach in group boot camp is applicable no matter what the mode of travel is, where the destination is. So it could be a tour, it could be a cruise, it could be a hotel. Tell me if that answers your question. I want to make sure. And that's why we have Classic Vacations coming in as a guest, for instance, which we've done many times like that. Nancy says, hi, Nancy, can you go back to the last slide? I'm taking notes and missed it. Okay, I will do that. Kelly said, I work for a small tour operator and I'm not in group sales. Oh, so if you work for a small tour operation and you're not in group sales, then we'll have to talk offline. I'm not exactly sure of the question, but yes. I think, now listen to me carefully, and I don't know if there's any suppliers in the house, and Kelly, I don't know if you consider yourself a supplier, and while we're talking, I'm going to go back to that slide so Nancy can write that down. There you go. I think as important as it is for you, the travel agent, to learn this information, to master group sales, master it, so that your agency is forever obsolete proof so you can make more money, get more groups. It's equally as important as the suppliers. Now, I've reached out to suppliers and asked, can I do some group training? And they're like, no, our teams know how to do groups. We know everything. We have it all. With all due respect, they're wrong. Because unless I've missed it, and maybe I have, I don't know everybody. I haven't attended all of their training sessions. They don't teach this new stuff. This is new stuff. This is new thinking. They do the same old stuff because that's just what they've always taught. Trust me, I've been on the supplier side too in my career. All right, so there you go. Kelly, I hope that helps. Sorry, I meant I am now in the group sales. Oh, then absolutely, Kelly, if you are now on the group sales team, 100,000% yes. The concepts are the same. Absolutely, and we're happy to talk offline about that. Nancy said, thanks, Stuart. Met you, at the World Travel Holdings Group Summit in Florida. Yes, at the B Resort, B Ocean Hotel. Excited to be learning even more and building for our July. You bet. Absolutely, Nancy. I remember, and I remember the group you were doing too. It was an exercise group. I don't know if it was yoga, Zumba, something like that. I don't remember. In any case, I'm so glad to share. Here we go, moving along. 6 ways to reduce risk, take control, and increase sales. Number 1, create new group leaders. Quit searching for old ones. Friends, there's two kinds of group leaders out there. The savvy ones, and I mentioned this yesterday, you can look them up in the yellow pages. They know way too much. They are spoiled because they have been doing it for so long and so many years that they have had agents who have revealed too much information about TCs and amenity points and how contracts work, and they'll negotiate you to the bone and won't let you make a buck. And sometimes it just doesn't work, a real savvy group leader. I'm not saying it won't ever work. That's why you need to take the group viability test. And as we jump ahead and I give you how to search for and pick better group leaders in just a minute, you'll know if that savvy group leader is good or not. But friends, create a new one. So when you start having your meetings with organizations and associations, it's that 15-minute meeting. You're there to learn. What do you do? How does it work? What are the problems facing your organization? I'm a small business owner too, and you run this. Tell me, how's it going? How do you source new? Just ask questions. It's not about you. They will reveal potentially a problem that can be solved through group travel. And they may not know it, but they would be the ideal group leader. Now look at my second point there. Don't call them group leaders. Just because you and I, in our terminology, we refer to them as group leaders, doesn't mean that you should too. That could be dangerous. That could be dangerous. Why? Because everyone's busy. They're busy at work. They're busy at home. We're all stressed for time. We're all busy. So if you tell somebody, I want you to be the group leader, you'll be the group leader, they're going to be like, no. So just by giving them that title might freak them out. So you never have to tell them or call them that. However, they will be. They'll sign the group agreement letter, which we'll talk about. Okay? They will be your point person. But just don't give them another title. Be careful. This is our lingo here. So think more about creating new group leaders versus finding group leaders. That's the biggest question I get. All right, Stuart, tell me, where do I find, not even just groups, but where do I find group leaders? Ixnay on the oxnay, forget that. Paradigm shift, go out and create new ones. Number 2, pick the winners. Okay, thanks, Stuart. That really doesn't help. How do I pick the winners? Here's how. You have to do an assessment. Now, if you don't write this down fast enough, this will be uploaded on the site that you can get it, I promise. Number 1, assess their true purpose. Do you really believe they're coming into this selfless or selfish? Is it all about them? Is it all about having a successful group? You'll know it by listening, verbal cues. You have to listen, you have to qualify, and remember, ask high mileage questions so that this stuff is revealed. You can't come out and say, you know, are you really into this? You know, this kind of stuff. Of course you're going to say, yeah, whatever. You need to be a great detective. I call it being a great detective. Not a great salesperson, a great detective. Number 2, assess their sphere of influence in the organization. Do they appear to be somebody who is respected? Do they hold a position? Are they the social director? You know, are they respected? And potentially when you see them in meetings, so let's just say that the president, you know, wants to make this deal with you. Like I said, you never want to appoint that president as group leader if they don't have the time to give you. All right, but if you say, hey, let's fill the room with everybody who will be involved in this project, okay, and they say, oh, I'm going to have Dawn and Bob and Susan and Kimberly here, you need to see who there holds a lot of respect. You'll see it. So who is high up on that sphere of influence? Because you want a major influencer. In fact, if you want to replace the word group leader with the word influencer, you can. Paradigm shift. Number 3, what's their commitment level? Are they all in? Are they already making excuses that they're going to be too busy, that they have a lot of travel coming up, and that they'll do their best? Do you already sense that they're backpedaling? So consider their commitment. Number 3. Number 4, what's their social status? Look, you and I both know how important social media is. Now, if the group leader says, I don't do Facebook, I don't do Twitter, I don't know what an Instagram is, let alone a Snapchat, well, that could be a problem, friends, because it would be much better to have a group leader or an influencer who is popular, who is followed, who is loved, who is the social butterfly, especially if it's a couple. And I hate to say this, but this just popped into my head. And I'm not being, pompous here. Trust me, I'm not. But one of the reasons why the partial ship river cruise group that I did with Kimberly, that we did for friends and family, was successful is because I would imagine friends and family who signed up, and we went with, we had, how many people did we have? 27 people. Okay, so we had, a nice size for a river cruise group, right? Big bucks, man. And we did the pre too, the 4-night pre in Zurich. Is that they want to hang with us? I think I'm a fun guy. I think my wife, she's fun, Kimberly. We have fun. If you don't follow me on Facebook, follow me now. Kim and Lena and so many of you, Karen, we watch each other's lives on Facebook, and it's wonderful. We get inspired by each other. We laugh together sometimes. We cry together. But so that's important. Number 5, accessibility. Even before you sign that contract and you commit to the deal, how hard or easy is it to reach them? How's their follow-up? Does it take days to get a call back, to get a return email? So these are, I believe, the 5 most important things to consider, to assess, to help you pick the winners so you know before you go. Number 3, synchronize the mission. This is very important. The number 1 objective must be the same, which is to have a successful group. However, it can't just stop at, yes, rah, 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 we want a successful group. You have to define what is success. What does success look like? And based on the group, it will be different. It might strictly be the most common form of success measurement, which is the number of people that are booked, number of staterooms, number of rooms, number of people on the tour that are booked. So you just go for pure numbers. We want to, last year we had 40, this year we want 60, or we've never done this before, so we're hoping that 3% of our whole list comes, and that'll be 32, whatever. So you rather than just use the word successful, my friends, get granular. I love saying that word, and specifically define what success looks like. And if you're getting hesitation, if they keep pushing back to they want to go free or something that's selfish, then they may not be the right group leader for you, and it may not be the right group for you. But if it's a group that's a charitable organization, it's a fundraiser, if it's a group that they need a certain number of people from certain organizations to go, and maybe it's a knitting club and they want representatives from all over the country, whatever it is, the goal for every group needs to be carefully and specifically determined and revealed, and you both must be in agreement. Now, I know what your secondary goal is. Now, of course, it goes without saying. I know what you're thinking. You're probably saying this, but don't you want people to have a good time? Of course. But I also know what your goal is too. You want to make money. You want to have happy customers that come back and book again and refer you. So it grows every year. It grows geometrically. You get more groups and you get individual bookings too, perhaps. And they may have their own secondary and tertiary goals too. And that's cool. As long as you making money and them traveling free or them whatever, that's a secondary or tertiary goal. Am I making sense here? Number 4, create meaningful incentives. I promised you that I was going to come back to this, and if you've got questions or whatnot or comments, go ahead and type them in. I will leave time at the end because I know I might be generating interesting thoughts. I hope I am. And this whole thing about incentives, man, we could spend a whole hour on any of these subjects, but especially on incentives. And you might be asking, well, what works? Well, I'm not going to tell you what works, because what works is what they want. Friends, if you do a great job of qualifying, if you do more listening than talking, if you ask high mileage questions, it will be revealed organically. You'll get a good sense of what they want. I'm going to go through each of these points right now. And if it's not revealed, if you're unsure, if you've sort of peppered things out and they're not jumping up and down because you want them to jump up and down about incentives. And by the way, what's an incentive? An incentive is what's special for you can I give you? Can you earn by really putting forth some great effort to make this so we sell as many statements as possible, so we achieve that key metric we've set up. Look, you know, all of your BDMs and folks who work on the supplier side, I had goals. I had stretch goals where if I really worked harder, put in more effort, I got even more. Now, of course, I never set my goal on hitting that top tier. I hit my goal on my personal goal, setting the stretch goal, man, when I worked for the suppliers. And then I was director key account sales. I had a team, and I knew who on my team were shooting for the stretch goal or just wherever. You know, I knew who were the go-getters. That's what an incentive is. Something they're going to go get it, and they're going to help work harder to achieve more success, put more effort in. I suggest you keep it guest-focused versus group leader-focused. Again, selfless versus selfish. So if it's something that the group will receive, it will work better, and then you know you have a legit great group leader because they want to share it. It's something special for everybody, and maybe something you announce to everybody. In some cases, I can't get too detailed here. Like I said, we can spend a whole hour on just this subject, as we do in our coaching sessions, and we talk about this with different incentives and when it's right to announce it to the whole group. So they tell their friends and family if they can come, because sometimes friends and family are not allowed. It's a very specific group for a specific group of people. Sometimes it's open to everybody. Clearly define the tiers. So I'm giving you the top most important things here. What's a tier? That means, all right, well, let's just say it's based on a number of staterooms sold, not on dollars. If we sell this many staterooms, then here's what you get. This many staterooms, here's what you get. So I'm a big believer, friends, in tiers, and I mentioned before that stretch goal. Vet it financially. Man, before you put any incentive down, make an offer, make a pledge, you vet it financially. Make a little P&L, make a little spreadsheet, and make sure that you have earned enough money that if either you're going to utilize the torque conductor, and that's none of their business, what that's worth, when you get it, how you use it, or the amenity points. You got to calculate everything in, friends, to make sure that you're more than happy to give back something special because you're making money and you're pushing their buttons to sell more. That's the way a beautiful incentive works from a company standpoint. I'm more than happy to give you a bonus of $1,000 if you sell another $10,000 worth of product, just as an example. Watch out for the freebies. We talked about this just one more time. Is a cabin or a room really free? Is it ever free? Never. Never, never, never. I can't tell you how many, and it might be you, and that's okay, I love you, but how many times we've given away something free and you end up going back to them and say, oh, listen, but you got to pay for gratuities. Oh, but you got to pay for the NCCFs. Oh, you got to pay for the port tax. Well, no, you said it was free. Well, not really free. And you take it out of your pocket and you lose money and it becomes a wah-wah-wah situation. And finally, pay out after. You know, unless somebody has far exceeded a goal, far exceeded, then you could pay it out before if you want. But friends, how many times has this happened to you? Or I will tell you, I have seen where at the last minute there's cancellations and you may not even know about it because they might have called the supplier directly and you didn't know till you get there. It's too late. And you miss a TC, you miss earning something, and you have already paid it out. Good luck trying to go back and get it. Number 5, take control. You need to take control because that's why they hired you. So you need to establish authority. How do you do that? You do it by being a great leader. You do it by being a success coach, like I'm doing with you right now. You want to be a cheerleader. You want to really work towards being a servant leader, I should say, which is what I try to emulate, and realize that it's your job to take control. They want this from you, because if you don't, then they're going to walk all over you. They're going to take over, and they're going to probably mess it up. It's not going to work. So you want to create the activity schedule. Identify a go team. Now, let me tell you right now, friends, don't worry about writing this down, because this is on the document, the free PDF I've given you to download and own and keep right out of boot camp. Identify a go team. A go team are all the people on your team and their team who are involved in what their tasks are. You set the schedule for the weekly meetings, even if it's 30 minutes. And you run it. And you always strive for synchronicity, so everyone knows what everything's going on, everyone's in the loop and working as a team harmoniously. Don't run from money matters. If there's something keeping you awake at night, you're like, uh-oh, what if? Then yeah, what if it's going to go wrong? What can go wrong will. So address it right on, especially if they somehow think you're providing something, giving them something that you're not. Clear the air. Never say, I'll try. Because if you do, what do they hear? I will. Right. And confirm everything in writing. Have a paper trail, friends. Even if it's an email trail, have that paper. And I'm going to change the slide here. I got to pick up speed here because we're going to get to the I was watching The Office the other day, and one of my favorite shows. My 3rd time watching the series, and I really don't watch much TV, but I love that, commercial-free especially, where, was it? Yeah, the coup de grace, a group agreement letter. So here we go. Why do you want to get a group agreement letter signed? Because number 1, it leaves nothing to chance. It protects your assets. Holds you both accountable. Paradigm shift here. Hold on. Here it comes. It sets expectations of you both, and it defines both of your roles and responsibilities. Maybe you've been coming in as thinking it's all about telling them what they need to do. No, friends. So here are the 2 secrets to success about writing great, effective, and perfect group agreement letters. Make it simple, clear, and concise. Break it down. Keep it simple, and I'm going to show you the 6 ingredients. You'll see how simple it really is. And finally, read it out loud. I want to hear you read it out loud. Write it collaboratively. Good word also means together. Now, of course, you're going to go in with the draft. You're going to go in and you're going to have it prepared. But you're going to sit down and write it together so they really feel they have skin in the game, they're a part of it, and that you're involving them in this process, and that it's not a one-sided, I'll say it again, not a one-sided agreement. Those are the 2 secrets to success. Now, yeah, I know you're asking this question. What if it's high risk? When do we need a contract, an attorney involved? Absolutely, if it's high risk, if there's money involved, it's a charitable type of event, or if it's just very complex. There's a lot of moving parts. And my friends, get an attorney, write something up, but you still want to keep it simple, clear, and concise. You still want to do it collaboratively, but you may need to truly protect you and protect them. That's when you want to get a more comprehensive, more legal contract. So the 6 key ingredients, here we go. And stay tuned, because I sure hope you're going to want to join boot camp. If not, we'll still be friends. Make sure we stay connected. That's all right. I hope to see you around town. I still love you for being here. I do. But man, can we start a group revolution together. I have so many success stories of agents who are doing this stuff, and they come back saying, I did it. I did it, and it really works. Number one, what you will provide. Make a list of the things you're going to do. Yeah, start off with this. Remember, I told you you're writing it collaboratively, and you're defining both sets of roles and responsibilities. So what you're going to provide. Now watch number two. I'm going to put this up quick because number two, the second section of it, should be what you will not provide. Because they can never come back then and say, but you said, and aren't you going to, or will you? No. And guess what part three is? Now watch how simple this is. What more is available? Inevitably, tell me if this is true for you, when you do groups or you're working with clients, there's always something else that comes up. Oh, what about this? Can you add? I mean, I'm working with carpentry, a whole team of carpenters, electricians now on a house, and you know, there's always something. Oh man, I forgot to do this. Oh man, I forgot to put a new fan in the bathroom. Whatever. And now I write everything down, so I know what they've agreed to do and what's going to cost me extra. And if I know up front, I ask them, hey, if I decide to do this, how much will it be extra? So protect yourself now so that if they want you to provide this, they know it's $5,000 up front, done in writing. Number four, naturally, what they will provide, what they will do, all of their roles, tasks, and responsibilities. Friends, I try to make this stuff, break it down and make it simple and make sense, and this really does work. Now, of course, you're going to put all the details of the trip in and the terms and conditions of based on the contract. I'm not covering that. That's a gimme, just so you know. Just so you know. The easy stuff, I'm not going to give you because you're already doing that, right? Number five, how the incentive works. We just spent a lot of time on this. This has got to be in the agreement, all the tiers, all the levels, when it's paid out, if it's money, if it's soft dollars, hard dollars, everything, very specific. How the incentive works. And number six, this is really important, what the key dates mean. The key dates. Now listen up. There's an important word here. It's called consequences. It's very important, friends, that you not only list the dates when deposits are due, final payments are due, cancellation penalties, and but to show the penalties or the consequences of missing the dates. Now, you know, if you have heard me speak before, what I always suggest, and you probably know this intuitively, that whatever dates the supplier of the brand gives you, you're going to back it up. How much? A week? 2 weeks? 3 weeks? Even for insurance, back it up, because there's always somebody who is out of town. Always somebody who said, but I put the check in the mail, it hasn't arrived yet. There's always somebody who has to FedEx something. No. Okay? So you want to back those dates up. But more importantly, what are the consequences for missing these deadlines? Those are the 6 key ingredients of a group agreement letter. So as a quick review of this portion, 6 ways to reduce risk. Create new group leaders. Quit looking for group leaders. You create new ones, because it will push you to get up and get out, make new friends, and say, there'd be a great group leader, and you don't necessarily have to give them that title. Number 2, pick the winners. I've given you ways to how to assess. Have a heads up so you know before you go if they're going to be a winner or a loser. And when I say loser, I mean that lovingly. They're not a loser, meaning they're just not going to do, they're not right for that task to lead the group, to bring it to success. Number 3, create meaningful incentives. Keyword, meaningful. What's going to push their button to work harder to achieve more? It's different for everybody. Number 4, synchronize the mission. Make sure number 1 mission is a successful group, but clearly define it. What defines success? Number 5, you need to take control, because that's why they hired you, or else they would have done it themselves. And number 6, get a signed group agreement letter. Stick around here. I'm going to tell you what the promotion is, and I'm going to take Q&A in just a second. So this is the end of Success Series 2. This was Success Series 1. They will both be uploaded on my website tomorrow for you to go back and own and love, and I hope you've downloaded those PDFs. If there's anything more I need to send you, reach out to me. Call me. I'll give you my cell phone. You can text me. 2 of you will do this. Watch. It's always 2 people who will text me. Area code 631-877-9080. 631-877-9080. Text me. Let's communicate. If that's the way you want to talk, remember, you should do this with your clients too. Communicate the way your clients want to communicate. And texting is easy. It's quick. It works for me. So just a quick thing before we open up for Q&A. I am offering a promotion already right now where you can double your time in boot camp for a full year for just $100. And I don't discount, friends. I don't want you to discount, so I practice what I preach. I don't discount, so I'm not giving any money off, just the upgrade opportunity. But if you want to start boot camp, and if you do it by how about by the end of the week? Normally I was going to say by the end of today, but that's not fair. But if you want to do it, and if you're not ready to start, if you just want to deposit $100, that's fine. You start when you want. But I will give you an extra month, a bonus full month free. So what's in it for the month? Well, I told you, every other week I do live business coaching, so you have direct access to me, and you'll have even more time with the material. So you'll get a bonus month. Whether you take the 6 months or the full year, I give you an extra month. And I hope that's enough to convince you. But if you don't want to do it, the deal expires Friday. So here's what I'm going to do right now. First, I'm going to look at the questions, and I want to thank you very much. We got about 6 minutes for questions. I hope to leave more time. But, you know, time flies when you're having a great time. And I do hope, have you enjoyed this? Did this work? What resonated with you? Give me feedback. Go to my Facebook page and tell me. Karen says, big titles. I worry if I get too big a shot as a group leader, they may cancel out at the last minute. Right, because of their job demands. Not intentionally. Sometimes I'd like to address how we deal with that. I agree. The bigger the wig, the more often they fall, right? And especially if it's a celebrity, you know, somebody of celebrity stature, or if they're an owner of a company. It's a real problem, friends. And what you need to do there is, because you can't force them, especially if it's a celebrity. Sometimes in their contract it says that you're only allowed to say scheduled to appear, which means if a better offer comes along, they'll jump, they'll go someplace else. So what you need to do is then you can't, if you feel they may not go, be careful how you market it. Because by no doing of yours, if you say, well, the president's going to be there, rah, 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 he's going to go, and he's making, or she, and she says, you know, she's bringing her kids, it's going to be fun, and she doesn't go, you're going to look bad. People may want to cancel. I don't know. They feel like they've been ripped off because they want to travel with the big shot, right, with the big wig, Karen. So at the end of the day, I would just tread lightly on that, and maybe even, you know, work it out with the president, the big shot, and say, should we just say, your intention is to come? You can't guarantee it. You really, really want, you know, something like that. Tread lightly, but make sure you have another group leader, somebody who's absolutely positively going, and draw the focus away from that and bring the focus to somebody else who you know fits the whole assessment that we just talked about. Eva says, thank you. You are very welcome, Eva. It's so pleasant to meet you. Are we meeting here for the first time? Stephanie says, is there a payment plan? Yes, 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 there is a payment plan. It's already on the site there, so you can either pay it out monthly. It's not quite $100 a month. I think it's a little bit more. But, friends, my goal is to make it easy for you. So if the payment plans I have there, if you don't like it, tell me what works for you. I'm nothing but flexible. I don't want to have the money be an obstacle. That's why this is not a $10,000 program. It's not a $5,000 program. There are other programs out there that are, you know this, I don't tell you, that are thousands of dollars. If I did that, then I would have, you know, a much smaller number of agents coming through. My goal is quantity. Have as much of you come through the program to make it affordable. Because if you want to do one-on-one coaching with me, it could run you $150 an hour. Well, why do that? Join boot camp, and you get me. Kim says, happy birthday, Kimberly. I will tell her. That's very kind. Thank you, Kim. Hello, I'm so sorry I got caught up in something else, but I would love to watch the replay. Yes, 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 the replay. I'm telling everybody again, 100% is going out to everybody. It'll be on my YouTube channel tomorrow. It will also be on my website. I'll send you the link. Thank you very much. Is there insurance we can buy to protect ourselves? You know, that's a great question. There is corporate, there is, business insurance you can buy, liability insurance for your company. All right. Of course, there's E&O, the stuff that you guys already know about. But from that perspective, you can have just business insurance. So for many years, I don't have it right now. I had speaker insurance. So when I would travel all over the country and the world speaking, I would be insured should I trip on the screen and knock it over and hurt somebody. Now I'm taking a risk right now. I don't have it. But yes, you can get corporate insurance, but I'm not sure you can have insurance based on low sales. You know, of success, not success kind of a thing, but certainly against being sued and liability above and beyond E&O. Joe says PDFs on the website. No, they're not. Should I put the PDFs on the website if you have not been if you cannot download it here? I really wanted to make it special for those who showed up, because then it's public. You know, of course I want as many people as possible to have them, but I wanted to give you guys a treat. So send me an email, download it from here. But if you really want me to put it on the website, I can do that. Absolutely. I'd rather it be out there than not. Tracy says, hey, Tracy. Hi, I'm Tracy from Two Sisters Travel Detroit. This is very good. Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate your words very much. Yeah, hope to see you soon in boot camp. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. Lena says, great last question. What happens if you are supposed to go with the group and you get sick or something happens? That's a great question. So what you need to do is protect yourself like I protect myself in my contracts when I do a speaking gig. And I get paid, I'm grateful that my clients pay me a lot of money to come and speak. So if I'm not there, it's a problem. But in all of my contract, it says that, and if you want my wording, I'll give it to you. That if I'm able to attend, I will have somebody who is equally qualified to do it. So, Lena, I think that's a great point, that if you get sick, whatever, so they'll feel good knowing that you're going to take care of that, and make sure you have somebody lined up who you know you can trust to do a great job. Joe says email is fine. Cool beans. Great talk. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Sharon says, yes, I can't get the PDFs to download. Sharon, send me an email, and I'll send it to you. All right, we'll get it taken care of. Hey, friends, we've got 15 seconds left, and we still got not quite a full house. Any other questions? Who's joining boot camp? I need to know, because I can't wait to welcome you. Roll out the red carpet. Tracy says having a hard time downloading PDFs. Mimi, that is so sweet. You are the best. That's what she wrote. You are too kind. Thank you very much. And to be honest with you, you are. You're here. I wouldn't do this without you. Why would I do it if nobody attends, if nobody comes, if nobody wants to learn? You do. Just think of all the other agents who are not here, who are too busy. They're doing the same old thing, and I hope that tomorrow when you come to work, that you try something new. Maybe even today, I give you some fresh perspective, new choices.